Hey everybody, I'm Grandmaster Ben Feingold. This is 5 Minutes with Ben, and I'm Ben. We're going to look at a game from a previous world champion, Tigran Petrosian. He was known as a boring positional player, but like all world champions, he could play any type of game well. This is one of his most famous games against Ludek Pachman. This was played in Bled in 1961, one of the few cities in the former Yugoslavia that I was at once. I was in Slovenia for the World Youth 1 year, about 10 years ago. And we took a day trip to Bled and Ljubljana. Anyway, this position was typical Petrosian. It's got positional advantage. It's got really nice minor pieces. Bishop on c8's not very good. Black's pawn structure on the queen side sort of strange. And Petrosian played rather aggressive move. Bishop to d6, pinning the knight against the rook. If black plays sort of obvious move, queen d7, defending the knight, then bishop takes c5, wins the c pawn. White's threatening knight b6 with a fork. So I think the two best moves for black that are remaining are rook e8 and bishop f6. And it looks like Pachman didn't choose the right move, although I think his position's quite poor anyway. Played bishop f6, defending his knight. Petrosian made rather obvious move, I think. Queen f3. The only white piece that's not doing anything is the queen. Every other piece is on an open file for the rook, or minor pieces are well placed. And that just threatens the bishop, and the bishop has to stay on the knight. And I'm sure Pachman saw that, and he had prepared king g7, defending the bishop. And Petrosian played an aggressive move, trying to get more pieces in the vicinity of the black king. Played the move rook e4, rook lift. Looks like white may want to play the move rook f4, or white might want to double rooks on the e-file. Okay, so Pachman didn't suspect anything. He thought Petrosian's improving his pieces, which Petrosian does. And Pachman made losing move here, although I guess one could argue with perfect play, probably black's already losing. His pieces are pretty bad, tied down. Doesn't have a lot of active play. White's pieces are all great. Typical Petrosian. Okay, and Pachman played rook to d8, putting pressure on the white bishop on d6, and also unpinning the knight. So now, if it was Pachman's move, he would probably play knight f5, also known as knife f5. Although 1961, since I wasn't born yet, probably wasn't known as knife f5 yet. But maybe. I wasn't the first person to say knife f5. I stole it from another strong player. Anyway, this is one of Tigran's most famous moves. Very unexpected. And maybe you've seen it before, but if you haven't, this is going to be a real treat. Petrosian, in preparation for his part in the movie Blazing Saddles, which wouldn't be made for another 15 years, said, "Excuse me while I whip this out," and played queen takes f6 check, sacrificing his queen, one of Petrosian's famous queen sacrifices. And the reason Petrosian has famous queen sacrifices is he rarely sacrifices his queen, but when he does, it's correct. So obviously, Pachman took the queen, and Petrosian played bishop e5 check, forcing the black king forward. f5 doesn't look like a good square, because then this bishop has h3, and this pawn has g4, and the rook has f4. In fact, I see a very quick mate without doing any calculation of note. And there might be a quicker mate, but that's okay. Rook f4 check, there's one legal move. Bishop f6 check, two legal moves, and either move allows rook h4 mate. So king f5 obviously gets mated, and there's probably another mate, which we'll see in the YouTube comments. Okay, so Pachman played king g5, and now white gets to show the point of his queen sacrifice. Again, if you've already seen this, probably know the answer, unless you forgot. What's the winning move for white and the whole point of Petrosian's queen sacrifice? Pause the video and try to find the answer, and I'll have some coffee. Ooh, that sounds good. Frankly, delicious. Anyway, Petrosian played the winning move, bishop g7, which stops black's king from retreating. So as far as black cannot get checkmated, which is going to happen in two moves, the king has to stay on the fourth rank. And white is threatening probably more than one checkmate, but the obvious one is to play h4 check. The king has to go to h5 or f5. The king goes to h5, bishop f3 is mate, and if the king goes to f5, bishop h3 is mate. And you can almost pre-move. It doesn't matter what black does here. White plays h4 check, and then white plays one of those checkmates. So I guess black can avoid getting mated for an extra move by playing knight f5 and then sacrificing his knight. But it's the same checkmate. It's just that black survived an extra move by sacrificing his knight. And then this is mate. The two bishops, what else? Okay, so after bishop g7, Pachman resigned. Game was only 21 moves long. And as is typical with mating attacks, black's pieces were mainly on the queen's side, away from his king, and his king was going for a walk. And Petrosian, who would soon become world champion, finished off Pachman very quickly. I'm Grandmaster Ben Feingold. Thanks for watching 5 Minutes with Ben. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time with more 5 Minutes with Ben. Bye.